What is up YouTube, my name is Brady, I am the Bloody Knight and welcome back to my channel and welcome to my video for the final impressions of the Marvel Avengers beta. So let's start off. If you didn't know, the game is coming out on all platforms, that will be PC, PS4, Xbox One, on the 4th of September, which is next Friday. So leading up to release, there were 3 betas that took place. First on the 7th it was a closed beta for PS4, on the 14th it was the open beta for PS4, and on the 21st it was open for everyone. PC, Xbox One, PS4, everybody was able to play. And I just thought I want to put this together to let you know what I thought, what I liked, what I didn't like, and what I found cool, and let's get right into it. First off, I want to start off on the story. The beta starts off with you jumping into the bridge sequence as seen at E3 2019, and it gives us just a small taste of what happened on A-Day. And if you didn't know, A-Day is basically when this Terrigen bomb went off and Captain America dies, and the effects of the bomb gave many people superpowers, and there was just this whole following of proceedings, and basically superheroes were outlawed, and essentially the Avengers were disbanded. And then what happens is it flashes forward about 5 years where you see Kamala Khan, or Miss Marvel, now with her own superpowers, wanting to get the band back together, getting the Avengers to assemble again. As mentioned before, this is just a small taste of what happens on A-Day. And once you complete that bridge sequence, which is quite cool I might add, you see a lot of catching up of what happens after A-Day, the proceedings. And it's very heavy-handed storytelling as opposed to being quite subtle, which I found quite weird. I mean, maybe it will be a little more subtle and a little more tactful as the game goes on, in the full game obviously, but the beginning was very heavy-handed. I quite found it a little surprising actually. In terms of the gameplay, I found that the bridge sequence was amazing for showcasing exactly how each Avenger, or at least these base Avengers, how they would operate and how they control. So as the bridge sequence starts, we jump in with Thor, and he feels like a tanky Thunder God, and it's really cool to play as him. And you can throw his hammer and recall it, and you know, which is it's fine, it's satisfying. It's not as satisfying as when Kratos does it in God of War, which I know was taken from Norse mythology, but it's something I can get used to. It's something that I enjoy doing, and it's fun. And from Thor we move on to Iron Man, and Iron Man can fly whenever he wants, and he can shoot beams from his hands and his chest, and that's really cool. From there we move on to the Hulk, and you know, it's the Hulk. He smashes, he destroys things, he's a magnet for destruction, and that is like portrayed perfectly. And then from the Hulk we move on to Captain America, and Captain America is just what I imagined him to be. He's like a hand-to-hand specialist, and it feels very much like playing the free flow combat system from like the Batman Arkham games. Not like as smooth as it is, it's just super satisfying to play as Cap. He's a hand-to-hand specialist, and you can throw his shield and people will yield, and you know, it's a lot of fun. And from there we move on to Black Widow, who is a CQC specialist, and you know, it's like portrayed quite well. And you basically take the fight to Taskmaster, who is the first villain you see on the scene. And there are some repetitive parts of the fight, I'm not gonna lie, but fighting him was fun, and you know, like countering and dodging and punching and kicking, and it just feels, I felt like Black Widow was like one of my favorite characters to play as in the beta, because she was just so fast, and you know, she is amazing. As I said before, the bridge sequence is amazing to play through. It's a great set piece, and it actually makes me quite excited for other set pieces that might be present in the full game. I sincerely hope that there will be more set pieces in the full game. And like, I'm really looking forward to that, because that first one was really good. When it comes to the gameplay, it is quite fun for the bit. It gives you this power fantasy of playing as the Avengers, you know, that's what we've wanted for so long. We wanted an Avengers game, but then it becomes a little stale. I'm not sure if stale is the right word, but that's the word that felt right to me. There's only so many ways that you can defeat enemies before it becomes samey. And while it did feel a little repetitive a little way in, I feel like this may be alleviated in the full game, because there'll be more things to unlock, there'll be more skills to unlock. And each character has like a decent skill tree with a number of techniques that they can unlock, which is something I'm looking forward to, because like you start off with a very basic set of skills. After you finish the main campaign missions, which I think there are only 2, you also unlock some drop zone missions, and these are very quick ones, and it's also like another mission where you play as a character, or focuses on a specific character's narrative. So for instance, this one in the beta focuses on the Hulk, and where you go to this facility where they are working with gamma radiation to create little abominations. And abomination, one of them is enough. We don't need more. The Hulk has his hands full with one abomination. We don't need more of them. But anyway, these drop zone missions are fast, 5-10 minutes max. You go in to do one objective, you get in, get out. And it's cool playing as a singular character and watching the Avengers follow behind you, like Tony's flying, and Black Widow's running, and the Hulk is bounding behind you. It's really cool. But the combat feels, it just feels everywhere. I feel like the fights aren't particularly structured, if that makes any sense, but it just feels like one big punch-up free-fall. And I feel like this is possibly going to be fixed by playing with other characters, like player characters, where each character is controlled by a player. But if I want to play this with as a solo character or as a solo player, like, am I always going to have to rely on unreliable AI? I'm a little worried about that, to be honest. And then there is gear in the game, and it's kind of normal for this kind of live service game. There wasn't anything really exciting about it, but it's a beta, you know, it's a small taste. It's not the full game where we're likely to find a more varied loot system. So that's something I can't really comment on, because it's probably going to be, it was made that way for the beta, like not to focus on it too much. And then one of my favorite things about the beta itself was Kamala Khan, or Miss Marvel, and she's possibly, like I said, one of the best things about my experience thus far. Like, she's a massive fan of the Avengers, and I think superheroes in general, and is possibly the embodiment of what my enthusiasm would be like had I been put in that situation. What I also love about Kamala is that her being such a fan, now with superpowers of her own, is possibly the basis of what causes the Avengers to assemble again. And that's really cool. That's as if you or me had like met the Avengers and things happened and we got powers and we got the Avengers back together. Like, no one special, just someone who happened to be in the right place at the right time. I don't know, I feel like that has some possibilities for some really cool story moments. Another thing I like about Kamala is her powers, which are stretchy powers, and they remind me very much of Mr. Fantastic from the Fantastic Four. And you know, when she's about to fight, she makes her fist bigger by obviously, like, you know, like rubber. And when she's jumping a big distance, her legs stretch, and when she swings on things, her arms stretch as if she was Spider-Man or Spider-Woman. Switching to Kamala's powers was actually quite refreshing. It was different to what I was expecting to play as, like with Iron Man, Thor, and Hulk, and Black Widow. And I was just actually having so much fun just beating everyone up. So those were my thoughts of the Marvel Avengers beta. There were some things I liked, some things I didn't like, and there were some things that were just really cool. But now I'd really love to know what your opinion is. Have you played the beta any one of the 3 weekends that it was available? And also, have you pre-ordered? And are you still going to pick it up having played what you played? Let me know everything in the comment section down below. I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions about everything. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.